How many are you today? 4. 4 and a baby.
This is the top of an elephant's skull. This is the bottom, this is the jaw, and the 2-inch neck.
6 Flags Great Adventure World Safari. My name is Tegan. I'll be your tour guide today.
Do a safari off-road adventure. I'm going to be your tour guide, Lewis. We are driver. Before we get started, we have to do a little bit of safety. Please just keep your hands from objects inside the vehicle at all times, also to yourself. Also, the seat that you're in right now is going to be where you remain seated for around 40 to 45 minutes. So there's going to be no unbuckling seatbelts, no switching seats, no passing kids around. We're all going to stay exactly where we are this entire time. Last but most importantly, New Jersey is a no-touch state. Please do not touch these animals. If you do touch these animals, you're going to be fined anywhere from $2,000 to $5,000. They do not mess around. So it's really not worth it. We're just going to keep our hands to ourselves, and everyone should have a good time. Now we're in the Americas, so we're going to see some animals that are native to North and South America. The first animals that we usually see are some flightless birds known as rheas. They usually hang out over here on the right side coming up. I can already see them. A bunch of these flightless birds. They're going to kind of look like a mini ostrich right over here coming up. Now these birds right here are native to South America. Now these are going to be the males that we're looking at. You can identify male and female just by looking at their neck. So the males have a black ring that goes around their neck of those feathers. Females are a solid grayish color, and also if you look at their neck, the females are going to have a more of a thinner neck than the males do. The males have more of a thick neck. Now these birds are also pretty fast birds. They can run up to 40 miles per hour. So they're right there behind the ostrich for being the fastest bird. Got a few of them hanging out. A lot of the time they also hang out in the back section, but they can just do whatever they really want to do. Now what up here is a lot of our animals are in the second section of the Americas. So when it comes to this entire safari, there's going to be 350 acres of land. This gives our animals plenty of space to walk around, do what they want to do so they don't feel trapped. We're enclosed in. So all of the other animals are already going to be in the second half. We're going to see the bison and the elk that we have. But as we're driving through, you're going to notice also every tree, anything that's made out of wood, has a little protector around them. That is a two-way protector. That prevents our animals from ripping off the bark of these trees and destroying the life expectancy of our trees. And then it also prevents our animals from accidentally cutting themselves along the bark or even scratching themselves. So it's a two-way protector, keeps our animals and our trees nice and safe, so they can live long, healthy lives. There they are, actually. Some of the bison over here we have. Not all of them. These are just a few. I guess they separated from the main herd, which is way back there. Now these bison are going to be native to the West Coast. We only have them on the East Coast. If you guys have ever been to Yellowstone National Park or Colorado, Utah, you can find these guys just hanging out around there. They estimate that there's around 190,000 of them domesticated, and then around 30 to 40,000 of them actually out in the wild today, just walking around. Let's see what else we have coming over here. I see a lot of our elk hanging out on the left side, on the back, and then nice up and close, we have one of our llamas just kind of doing her own thing. So this llamas are found down in South America, just like those birds we just seen. The only difference are they're found in the Andes Mountains. So that's a mountain range that shoots down all of South America. So you can find llamas in Peru, Bolivia, Chile, Brazil, all parts of South America. You're going to find these llamas. They're also usually a pack animal, so they usually stay together. But she kind of just separated. She kind of understands that there's no danger really for her separating, so she can do her own thing. Now back there we have the female Roosevelt elk hanging out in the back area. Now these animals are going to get anywhere from 600 to 1,000 pounds. Usually the males get up to 1,000 pounds. But you can tell that those are females because they don't have any antlers. Males have antlers that get up to 4 feet tall, and they use those antlers to maneuver through bushes, and they're just wild in general. They can move trees and branches right out the way. Then as we come over here on the right side, we're going to be coming across our fallow deer. So they're going to be exactly like white-tailed deer. The only main difference is they're going to have these little white spots on their body that they keep for their entire life. As white-tailed deer, they're going to lose those spots as they age. Now, these deer are also not native to America. They were brought over here from Europe and parts of Asia. The main reason why they were brought over to America is so that people could use them for sports. So for archery and for hunting, basically just using those animals. They didn't really have any actual benefit to being here in America. And we have some more of the It's all hanging out. Right now, a lot of the bison also hanging out with some more of our llamas and some more of our Roosevelt elk. Now these Roosevelt elk are going to be found in the Pacific Northwest, so that's near Washington, Colorado, Montana. This is where it gets a little cooler. Some parts of Canada you can also find them. We also have some more llamas hanging out here.
So hard not to want to reach to get it.
There you can also see the bison hanging out, some more of the bison. We have some bison babies also up here. The bison babies, when they're born, they're like a bright orangey color. Then as they get older, like this one right here, as they get older, that orange starts to fade into like that brownish black color that the normal bisons have right around them. So we have some more fallow deer. You can notice some more right in the middle, the leucistic one. Solid white, no brown on her, no spots. And you can see another llama just laying down with a bison. She thinks that she's one of them over there on the left side. She's just laying down right next to him.
Look at his eyes.
No, he just said there's a
Now when you're looking at these bison too, they're going to have real horns. So unlike the deer that have antlers, those horns are going to be physically attached to their skull. So it's not supposed to break or fall off. If it does break or fall off, it's never going to grow back ever again. As we get ready to come out of the Americas, we're going to go into the Africas. We're going to see some zebras. We have some zebra babies that were born a few weeks ago, and I believe we actually had a baby that was born yesterday. We have some rhinos, some water buffalo. Whatever you expect to see out in Africa. I'm not seeing any Canadian animals as we come across over here. All the animals on the other side over there. Not out, no. They're in the back area. You can probably see them, but they didn't come out this morning. It was just really cold for them, so they just didn't want to come out. Oh yeah, there's one. Here they are. One of the baby hanging out. A baby zebra. There are 4 baby zebras. Yep, 3. One was born yesterday. Oh yeah. Yeah, there was one that was born yesterday, because a few days ago there was 3 over there, yes. So this one you can see hanging out with Mama, also hanging out with the water buffalo. So in America we interchange bison and buffalo. These are what real buffalo look like. These are Asian water buffalo. Usually though you don't find Asian water buffalo out in Africa. The only reason they're here now is because this is where most abundance of water. Buffaloes cannot be more than 15 miles away from water. And you see the mama and the baby zebra. Now these are grand zebras, so these are the smallest species of zebra in the entire world. On top of the fact that the babies are just small in general. I think there should be some more babies somewhere over here. It's just hard to tell all those stripes lining up. It's hard to tell what's a baby and what's not. Some one all the way down there. I can see 2 of them all the way down there. We also have some ostrich hanging out. Probably, yep. Because I think they all moved now over there. We also have the ostrich over here, the female ostrich, the largest and the fastest bird in the world, an ostrich. Like this lady right here, they can get anywhere from 7 to 9 feet tall. and then get up to 300 pounds. And then the ostrich can run anywhere from 42 to 45 miles per hour, so they are extremely fast. They also have the largest eye out of any bird, spanning 2 inches across their head. Their eye is actually bigger than their brain, so they're not the smartest of birds. And over here we have the 2 little babies running around. So this is all 3 of them. So the 3 babies are over here, and then the first baby we seen over there. So that is all 4 of them. And then we have some more mamas that are still pregnant, so we should having some more babies born later on this month too. There they are. Look, there's 3 of them all hanging out. So you can see they get big really fast. So this one right here was one of the first ones born, the one in the very front. These 2 are the younger ones.
They're so cute. So little.
You can also notice, unlike their parents that are solid black and white coloration, some of the babies have like a brownish orangey white coloration. And that just happens because when they're born they have that light color that fades and gets darker as they age. But even then, even if it doesn't get darker, zebras don't always have to be black and white. They can be orange and white or like a gingerish, brownish color. They don't have to be that black and white. You can also, like I said, if you take a close look at a lot of these zebras, you can see they're very thick because a lot of them are still pregnant. We have some more babies still up and coming in the next few weeks, hopefully.
He's running. That one's probably pregnant. That's big.
And a lot of the times with these people, when you look at zebras, people don't know if they're black with white stripes or white with black stripes. They are black with white stripes. Easiest way to identify them, if you look at their nose and you look at their hoofs, it's a solid black coloration. There's no fur, there's no hair growing over it. That's the easiest way to identify that. And then look at their ears. The outer ring of their ears is black. That's how you know that their actual main color is black with white. And over there we have our lovely rhinos over there, the 3 white rhinos. Now those are southern white rhinos. That is the only species of rhino that is not endangered yet. So these rhinos can get anywhere from 4,000 to 6,000 pounds. They run up to 35 miles per hour. And then those horns that they got on their face is going to be made out of keratin, so what your hair and fingernails are made out of. And those horns do grow back as long as it is cut above the base. Those horns can grow back. But I guess people don't know that, so they grow out and they cut off the whole horn and then they sell it on the black market. And due to that, rhinos are now being close to being extinct. Now as we come around over here in this section, this is the wild plains. We're going to see some more hoofstock, some more babies. We have baby ostrich, we have baby ellipsis, we have baby giraffes. Almost any animal you can think of, you have a baby something. Like back here, we have fallow deer. So earlier we seen the females, that is the males. There are some females and babies in here. The ones back there are the darker ones, so they're melanistic, they produce extra melanin. So they're not going to have those white spots like the one in the front. Right there you can see one of our baby ellipsis to the left. That's a baby ellipsis water buck. Now they were given that name, ellipsis water buck, because if you look at the rear, right behind them, it looks like they were stuck on a toilet seat for a few hours. That's the ellipsis. So ellipsis just means an oval type shape. Water buck comes from the fact that they know that their natural predators are cats. Cats don't really like water, so they spend all their time in water to try to evade any predator that might be nearby. Then we have some more hanging out over here, some more of the ellipsis. Then over here, we have the beasts or orcs that are going to be coming up on our right side. So these animals, they have that little black kiss man face mask looking thing. These guys can raise their body temperature up to 116 degrees Fahrenheit. Now that's going to allow them to match the outside temperatures of the wild so that they can hold onto their water and preserve it a lot longer. These animals are found in very dry, arid regions, so they get all the water they need just from the grass and the vegetation they're eating on a daily basis. Obviously, they are here so they can drink water if they need to, but they don't really need to that often. Also, these animals are the original unicorn. If you look closely, their horns are very symmetrical when they're lined up, so when researchers first saw them, it only looked like they had 1 horn. Obviously, nowadays we know that they have 2 horns and they're not unicorns, but they are some of the original unicorns. What else do we have over here? I know over there. Yeah, they are. They're 5.5 months old. They're getting very big. I remember when they were just like little chicks. Yes, they were, and now they're getting very massive. You can see. You can see their dad's following them around because even though they are big, they are still prone to hawks and eagles, especially out in New Jersey. We have many eagles hanging out over there, so father just keeps a nice close eye on them. But you can see they go close to like a foot every month almost. So like I said, they're like 4.5 feet, almost 5 feet tall. They're only 5 months old, so they, like I said, they go close to a foot almost every single month. What other animals do we have over here? I know the bongos like to hang out in the back area, right back over here. Also, as we're driving through, you can probably get a also see the African bongos right here. We've got the mother and the daughter, and then the father just looking the complete other way. Those are the largest forest dwellers in all of Africa. And then right up in front of us, we have the largest animal in the entire world, our giraffes. Now, these are reticulated giraffes. These are going to be all ladies. So they're going to be around 16 feet tall and weigh 2,000 pounds. Males there can get up to 18 feet tall and weigh close to 4,000 pounds. So they're going to be on your left and your right side. We have some babies over here on your right side. We have a lot of the grown ones on the left side. We also have some other smaller ones also on the left still. So kind of whatever you want to look at, you're not going to be missing anything. She is getting so big. She is actually the youngest one right there. Yes, that is MB right there. She is our youngest one. Now, when the babies are born, they're going to fall 6 feet to the ground because of how big their mom is. And right after that, they're perfectly fine. They can just walk around and live their normal life. And you can notice that giraffes have very long necks. Giraffes have a 7-foot long neck, and that is because they have the same amount of vertebrae in their necks that we do. We have 7 vertebrae, and so do they. It's just their vertebrae happen to be 1 foot long per vertebrae, so they have a 7-foot long neck. And you can see the scimitar horned orcs also right there. Those animals used to be extinct in 2000 and 2016. There were no more of those animals out in the wild. Luckily, they have repopulated. There's around 800 of them out in Africa today. Got a lovely giraffe walking over here. Mama walking over here.
If it wants to pet me.
I doubt it, but you should be okay.
All right.
If they touch you, but if you touch them, then it's bad news bears. Now, these giraffes also have a very long tongue. Their tongue is going to be anywhere from 18 to 21 inches long. That allows them to wrap their tongues around leaves and branches and pull it right off the branch when they're hungry. Most of the time, giraffes eat all day. They eat around 15, 16 hours a day. Kind of just keeps them full, especially because they weigh anywhere from 2,000 to 4,000 pounds, so they got to keep themselves nice and full. Luckily, our giraffes here are in human care, so they can sleep kind of as long as they want. But if these were wild giraffes only sleep around 30 minutes a day. So they take small minutes to naps throughout the day to make sure that they're not anybody's prey, basically. Like that one over there. Again, you see the large cows hanging out. They're the red and woolly. They look very similar to the Texas Longhorn. They kind of are. The only main difference are they're actually bred all the way out in Africa. And in Africa, if you have a decent herd of cow, that actually determines your wealth. They're not a cheap cow to have. So if you have a lot of them, you're going to be a rich man out there. Right here, we have some of the common elands. So these are some of the largest genus species of antelope in the world. They weigh up to 2,000 pounds. They're pretty slow animals. They only go 25 miles per hour. What is really excellent about them is that when they are startled, they can jump 8 feet high off of the ground. So they can run and jump on top of this truck if they really try. Now, as we come around here, the Savannah Sunset, this is one of my favorite spots to be. So if I'm not doing a tour like this, I'm actually spending my time over here with the guest doing VIP tours, which is where you get to do some behind the feed. You get to do some behind the scenes stuff. So these huts right here can fit anywhere from 2 to 5 people. And then we have bigger huts on the back side that can fit around 7 to 10 people. Now, what I love to do right here, though, is this dock right here. You come down to this dock anytime you're at the feed, and this is where you get to actually hand feed our giraffes personally. So sweet potatoes and ice cream cones, they love it. They like the ice cream cone. We have some giraffes that are getting a little too diva-like, and they won't eat the sweet potato at all. They only eat the ice cream cone. But it's okay as long as they come to the feed. That's all that matters. I definitely say you should check it out. It used to be a minimum of a 2-night stay. Now, since it's closer to the end of the season, you can stay for 1 night and get to do all the things that you would usually do, and then you can leave. Also, every night that you stay there, you're given a pass for every park that we have. So the amusement park, the safari, and then when the water park is open, you can go to the water park for every day you're staying. Now we're entering the wild plains. We're going to see obviously more ostrich. Ostrich are in every part of the safari just because we have so many of them, and they're usually found out in Africa, and we have so many African sections. You can see more fallow deer, and then a nice black buck over there on the left side just walking, a younger one. Now, the older they get, like this one on the right side, you can see that one's a little bit older. So they are named black buck because as they get older, that brown color darkens, giving them the name black buck, and then those horns are going to grow to be around 2.5 feet long. And here you can see more of the fallow deer, a lot of the males. You see they have those antlers. Now those are known as palm antlers because they are kind of like flat shovel shaped. They resemble your palm, so they are known as the palm antler, kind of like a moose antler. And we got some more ostrich hanging out over here, a lot of the males. As we come down now, I'm seeing some more of our gnus. mane because they have a whitish blondish tail on them. These animals are very native to Africa, especially South Africa. You can find them. Now, when it comes, there they go, going across the road over there. Now, they used to actually be almost extinct. You were able to find their entire wild population on just 2 farms. Now they are no longer in danger. There's around 18,000 of them out in Africa today. Then over there on the left side, my favorite animal is the sable antelope. Those guys right there have been seen fighting back against lions. So they use their horns to either flip a lion over their head or try to impale them. And they are some of the most aware animals in the world. That's why they're looking in every single direction. They're making sure no one or nothing gets to those babies in the middle. There's not any animal that really is as aware as them. So that's another reason why lions don't mess with them. You can't really smoke them and sneak up on them. They know what's going on. Speaking of lions, we're actually about to get ready to see some of our apex predators right here, the lions that we have. We got a lot of our dads hanging out. They're basically like mountain goats. If you've ever seen videos of goats doing parkour on hills, that's what those guys do in their free time. There we go. About to cut through. Right here, the Kingsland. Look at them all hanging out, all of the male lions that we have right over there. And a lot of our black buck also hanging out on the left side. You can see these guys are maturing. Their horns are getting there, but the color, they're still that light brown color. So the males are only going to be the ones that darken. Females stay a light brown color their whole life, and they never grow any horns. Like this one right here. You can see he's getting a little bit darker, so he's going to be the older one over here. Now these animals also are just as fast as our lions. They can run up to 50 miles per hour. Our lions can run up to 50 miles per hour. Now here they come, actually, they're going to be right over there. So we got coming over here, so we can see our males. So we know males have a mane, so they have an extra hair that goes around their neck right over here. Now the males are going to be very lazy. Male lions will sleep anywhere from 18 to 20 hours in a day, while female lions will sleep anywhere from 15 to 18 hours in a day. The only main difference is females have to sleep that much so they can go out and hunt. They need all that energy to go hunt all day. Males do it because they really don't have anything else to do. Males are the protectors of their pride. But since nothing's really attacking them besides humans or other lions, the males just have the freedom to kind of sleep all day, while the females are doing so. Oh, there they go. That's what happens. That's what happens when there's a bunch of males. No females. That's what happens. Interesting. Luckily for us, we know we're not going to have any baby lions off of that, so that's okay. But you see the males are going to be a lot larger. These are the largest social species of cat in the world, but the second largest cat in the world, right behind the Siberian tigers. Right now they're just doing a little yawn. Now when a lion roars though, you can hear a lion from up to 5 miles away. So if they roared, we could have heard them all the way from out the resort. Even probably further than that, you can hear these guys. Now, when it comes to lions, though, they're not very successful when it comes to hunting, even though they are the only large cat family species. They're not that successful. Lions are only 25% successful when it comes to hunting. Due to that, when they do somehow manage to get food, they force themselves to eat anywhere from 70 to 100 pounds of meat at one time. So basically, they fill themselves up, so if they do go a few days without eating, they're not going to starve or slow down from starvation. Coming over here.
Are they physically capable of jumping from where they were to over where we are, or no?
No, because it has a little dip that goes down, so they wouldn't. But if it was to stay up, yeah, they would jump right over, yeah. You can see our bears, right? Look at them all hanging out. So this is the Black Bear Ridge, and it looks like all of the bears are just hanging out in one area.
Look at it. Oh, he's definitely a baby shot.
So these black bear right here, they're going to be very small and docile compared to the brown bears that we're going to be seeing. Black bears only get around 3 to 5 feet tall, and they get up to like 500 pounds. So when you see a black bear in the wild, they tell you to get loud, get obnoxious, and they'll usually run away. The only time that's really not going to work is when it comes to one of the bears that we're going to be seeing, a mama bear. She doesn't really care how big and aggressive you get. She's going to do anything it really takes to protect her babies and keep them safe. So she is hanging out inside. It looks like they just went inside. They were just out eating. Now I think they're taking a nice little nap, or she's just keeping them nice and close. Right there, you can see how big this guy is, though. A big chubby meatball walking around over here. Now Now they're hanging out on the inside. It's going to be hard to see, but if you look on the inside, there's Mama in there with 2 of her cubs. Their cubs are only like, they're like 6, 7 months around there. Okay, no, we're not doing that. So they're 6 months. We'll just say they're 6 months old around over there. Now coming down over here, you can see this bear also climbed up, taking a little nap on the left side. He's doing his own thing. He's got all that space to himself. Black bears are excellent climbers, so he obviously has a ramp to climb up, but even if there wasn't a ramp, they are very good climbers. I've seen them climb up to the very top section up there. They just grab themselves and pull themselves right up there. Now, these black bears are also going to be opportunistic omnivores, so what that means is they eat anything they can find. Fruit, insects, meat, vegetation, whatever it is, they can and will eat it. That's why they walk through your neighborhood, going through your garbage can, just trying to find whatever they can find. They're actually going to be able to find a black bear in all parts of America. So from Canada down to Mexico, black bears are in every single state besides one. The one state you're never going to find a black bear is Hawaii, and it's just simply because they can't swim that far, and there's no need to send any of them over and out there. But outside of that, you're going to find a black bear in almost all parts of America. Now, when we come through here, this is our lower 40, so this is like the opposite side of the resort. We have some more of our hoof stock. We have some red lechwe hanging out, those deer-looking creatures. Now, we have a lot of them here, but when it comes to them being out in the wild, they are a near-threat animal, so they are one step away from being endangered, and that is because of how simple it is to hunt these animals. So they are usually out in Africa near some form of water, so what hunters are doing now is going near a lake or a river and finding these animals, and they are starting to overly hunt these animals. Now, due to that, their population is declining rapidly, and like I said, they went from overpopulated to now a near-threat species, almost going endangered. Also see some of the babies hanging out. The males are going to be the ones who have those V-shaped horns. Females, just like most other species, they're not going to grow any horns. They're just going to be flat-headed. Then we have some more of the rooms over there. These are the bigger rooms. They can fit up to 10 people at the resort. Or if you just want to have a one-on-one situation and have big space, you can obviously do that and hang out over there. They also have a bar with a bar type there. They have gourmet chefs, so some of the best food you can get in the entire resort. It's very interesting. It just costs a pretty penny. I think you would probably like it. Now over here to Terraversus, we're going to see the brown bear. These are European brown bears, so they're going to be a lot larger than the black bear. The first one we're going to see is going to be somewhere in here. He is a younger bear. He's one of our young males. I don't know where he is though. Hard to see him. He was literally just here. No. These are different bears. There's a guy hanging out somewhere.
Yeah, he's over there.
Yes. This is a mom with her son in here too. There's the one right there, and then in that back corner, I believe is mom. So I think that's son, and I believe mama is back right corner just doing her own thing. So you can kind of already see they're a lot larger than black bears. Not these ones, obviously the son, he's not going to have the weight, but already height, size, and lengthwise, he's just as big as a black bear. Then the brown bears that we're going to see that are fully mature, they have the length and the height already. So these bears, they're going to be anywhere from like 4 to 7 feet tall, and they can get up to 700-800 pounds. So they are very massive. And these bears do prefer to have more meat and protein in their diet. So obviously they eat insects and vegetation, but they're a lot larger. They want more meat in their diets here. A lot of the bears that we're going to be seeing, they're going to be very lazy, probably taking a nap like this one right here on the right side, just taking a nice little nap. They dig little holes in the ground and then they take a little nap. See one's up there taking a nap. These guys going down to the water. This guy just finished eating and he's eating some food to himself. And now one thing about brown bears are always going to be brown. They can come in different shades of brown, like a blondish color, but they're always going to be brown, unlike black bears that can come in multiple different colors like brown, gray, blondish. We have some over here on the left side. See the difference in coloration also. Now obviously we know the ladies are going to be a little bit smaller. And then when you look at these bears, when you look right above their shoulder blades, they're all going to have a little hump that goes above their shoulder. Now that hump is pure solid muscle. Now they use that muscle to lift up sticks, rocks, logs, anything. They've also been seen out in Europe and Asia. They've been seen opening up people's car doors. So if your car is left unlocked, if they smell food in there, they'll try to open up your car door with ease. Now over here we have mama bear. So the first bear we were supposed to see, the guy who was hiding, this is his mom right here who we're going to come across. She's hiding in this tall grass right over here on the left side. There she is. That is mama to the first bear we were supposed to see, but I don't know where he is. He's somewhere just doing his own thing. Now over here though, I know we're going to be coming across Stan or Stanley, but as forward to see what he's got going on. Oh, there he is in the water, just taking a nice little cooling bath. Nice little water bath for the guy. There he is, that's Stan. We love Stan. He is one of our special bears. You can see him, sometimes you come around, he's dancing around, he does little dances. Also, our wardens will play with him, they'll blow bubbles for him and he'll pop the bubbles. He likes to play with bubbles. He's a very interesting bear. He's more human-like than bear-like, but that's just mainly because he's been raised by humans his entire life. So he has more of an understanding than humans than being with bears. Now this section over here, this is our conservation area. So it's going to be very boring, but it is very unique, the conservation area. So when it comes to the entire safari, like I said, 350 acres of land. This is 52 of those acres. This is the only part of the entire safari. There's no gate, there's no enclosure, there's nothing separating us from any wild animal. So if there were any bears or any deer, any foxes, they're free to do whatever they want. We don't force them to stay, we don't force them to leave. They can do everything. The only thing about this is no humans are allowed to come back in this area. So we want animals to feel safe, secure, like there's no danger, no threats happening. That's another reason why there is no gates to separate us or keep them stuck or closed in. So a lot of the times they can do really whatever they want to do. It's kind of hard to tell if there's any in here, but I know that we get deer in here, sometimes foxes, raccoons, beavers. We actually used to have a dam that beavers made at the end that's not here anymore, so they probably will come back and make it. Any animal you think of having in New Jersey, they are free to come and do whatever they want. Also, as we drive through, you're going to notice this is what New Jersey would naturally look like. There's no roads being built, no houses being built, no intersections, none of that. This is all natural New Jersey, a bunch of trees and a bunch of aquatic plants. So, we have a lot more aquatic plants than your average plant. Because we get so much water, where the garden state, we get plenty of water throughout the year. All of these plants now absorb all of that extra water. That's going to prevent it from overly flooding in this area. On top of that, you can see it's a little bit cooler in this area than the rest. They give off cooler oxygen than the average plant does because of all the water that they're surrounding. And last but most importantly, all that water that they're absorbing is coming out more purified, drinkable water for the animals that do come through. So they don't really have to worry about many bacteria and things being inside of their water that they would if you were just to go drink water straight out, from the street. Obviously, we shouldn't go drink that water. It's going to still be gross for us, but for the natural wild animals, it's a lot safer. Now we enter into the didgeridoo pass. This is like the Australian part. We have emus all hanging out on the right side. A lot of them are going to be further down. But we're all worried about the kangaroos. That's my favorite part of the Australian section, seeing the kangaroos hop around and do their thing. Now, a lot of the time they hang out on the right side, but it's been very gloomy today. They love to follow the sun, so they're all going to be hanging out on the left side when we approach. You can see there's one who kind of just stood their ground. This one kind of just kept to themselves. She didn't want to rotate. She just kind of hung out over here. Now, these are going to be the red kangaroo, mainly given that name, because when we come across, you're going to notice that males have a reddish orange color. There's also going to be more hanging out, just hanging out so right here on the right side, just doing their own thing. Now, these kangaroo are going to be capable of jumping 10 feet high off of the ground and 20 feet forward in length. Now, kangaroos are not jumping around though because they want to jump around. Kangaroos physically just can't walk. It's not possible for them to walk. So unlike us, our legs are separated. We can move a leg at a time. Their hips are actually joined together. So they have to use both of their back legs at the same exact time. That's why they're always jumping. The closest they'll get to walking is where they lean forward and they drag themselves forward with their forearms. Outside of that, they can't walk. They also can't go backwards. Now over here, you'll see more of them. A lot of them hanging out over there. There they all are. Now, anytime you see a kangaroo, they all have J names. So male kangaroos are Jacks, females are Jills, and then the babies are known as Joeys. And that's for every single kangaroo in the world, unless it actually has a specific name that was given to it. But you can see the males are going to be, obviously, like I said, they're the bigger ones, like that guy near the tree. Very big and muscular, they're that orangey red color. The females are a little bit smaller, and they're that grayishy brown color, and they stay that color their whole life. And now we have the emus right here. They can be anywhere from 5 to 7 feet tall. They run 30 miles per hour, and they're some of the only birds in the world that has a calf muscle like us humans do. Then we have some more kangaroos also separated, just kind of doing their own thing. Not really wanting to worry about anything. Now this looks like a little bit of a younger kangaroo. He's not inside the pouch young, but he looks like he's definitely a little young. Now when it comes to kangaroos, the female kangaroos are capable of pausing their pregnancy. So if a female kangaroo feels like she just doesn't want to give birth, or maybe there's a predator nearby, or it's too cold, she can stop her pregnancy anywhere from 3 to 11 months, and then just wait to give birth. And also, female kangaroos can produce 2 different milks. So one for the joey outside of the pouch that still needs a little bit of protein, and then for one of their younger babies that still need different nutrition and protein, they produce 2 different milks for 2 of their different babies. So they are very advanced creatures, honestly. Now, as we come through here, we're entering the Tigris asiana. So we're going to see 2 different species of tiger. The first one is going to be our Bengal tiger. And most people think that she's going to be orange and black. She's not going to be orange and black. She has a very rare fur pigmentation. So she's going to look exactly like Garfield, but just like if Garfield was 500 pounds. So there she kind of is as we approach. It's going to be hard to see, but she's in that back corner, way back there. She's like a light orangey reddish color. She doesn't have any black stripes, and then she's got a very bright white underside to her. You see her all the way back there. So like I said, she's got a very rare fur pigmentation, and that happens to Bengal tigers a lot of the time. They can come in multiple colors, so they can be orange and black, they can be this little tabby color, they can be white with black stripes, or they can be all white like an albino. So when it comes to her too, she is one of the older tigers that we have. So the average life expectancy for a tiger is going to be 10 to 12 years in the wild, 12 to 15 years in human care. She just turned 21 years old this year, so she is realistically 6 years older than she's supposed to be. Now we're going to see the opposite. Now we're going to see the largest cat in the world, but they're also going to be the youngest cats that we have here. Over here on their right side, we have 5 Siberian cats that were born 3 years ago. So they're only 3 years old, but you can see how massive they get for just being 3 years old.
So cute. Their belly's hanging.
Now these Siberians right here, they can be anywhere from 10 to 14 feet in length, and they can weigh anywhere from 200 to 650 pounds. So they are very massive. Now, one of the main reasons why they weigh so much more than other cats is because they were found out in Siberia and Russia where it gets really cold. So they need all that weight and muscle mass to help them stay nice and warm. And then also over time, them being in these cold regions, their body is adapted. They have the longest and thickest fur out of any tiger in the entire world. Now, what is interesting though, even though they are known as the Siberian tiger, you're going to find around 90% of Siberian tigers actually are out in Russia. Now, right over there, we have one of our firstborn. She's hanging out, she's doing her own thing. She's hanging out right next to the twin tigers that were just born at the same time, just like these 5 were born at the same time. These 2 right over here were born at the same time together, so we just call them the twin tigers. Now usually though, it is very rare for a litter to be more than 3. 1 to 3 is more common, so our mom giving birth to all 5 of these ones at the same exact time technically would have raised their wild population by an entire 1%. And now 1% doesn't sound like a lot, but when you understand there's less than 600 Siberian tiger in the wild, 1% is massive. Anything to keep their population alive is incredible. Now what is interesting about them is tigers can run up to 40 miles per hour. They can see 6 times better than we can. And they also have built-in night vision inside of their eyes, so that allows them to hunt at nighttime. So they are extremely good nocturnal hunters. They also are very good swimmers. They have padded, like web pads on their claws that makes it easy for them to kind of grip and swim. They actually are going to chase the prey into the water because they're that confident in their swimming ability. And now a lot of people think that tigers aren't the best hunting because of their coloration, they're orange and black, which is a net giveaway. Orange and black when you're hiding behind a bunch of green, and you wouldn't be right if that's how that works. Obviously we see tigers as orange and black, but tigers prey, they don't see the color orange at all. So a tiger, to them, actually just looks green and black. So their camouflage is actually perfect for them. They camouflage green and black, and even if it was for us, if you see a tiger, by the time you see a tiger stalking you, it's too late. Like I said, they're running 40 miles per hour, they're jumping over 10 feet. You're not running away or out, you know, athleticism a tiger. So it'd probably be the game over for you. Over there we have some more of our goodads. A lot of the young ones are in there, a lot of the females, some babies, and then some males, but the males have thicker horns. Easiest way to identify them. Over here we have some nilgai that don't seem to be out, but if you look deeply in there, you're going to see one black buck that's hanging with the nilgai, and that is because she was hand-raised with some of our nilgai, and now she thinks that she's a nilgai. So she now thinks that she's one of them, and they accept her as one of them. So she just hangs out with them. That is now her family, and she doesn't mind it, they don't mind it. And now we actually had a similar situation happen, but it had nothing to do with us. Coming up, if they're still over here, you're going to notice we have a bunch of Canadian geese, and there's one outstanding guy, a snow goose. He also stuck his way in there. Yep, he stuck his way in there, and just like those nilgai they accept him as one of their geese. And we have a lot of the black buck over here, the most overpopulated animal we have. So unlike humans, we know humans take 9 months to give birth. These animals only takes 5 to 6 months to give birth, so they're giving birth 2 times a year, almost every single year. And some of these ladies right now are pregnant, so we're probably gonna have some babies coming up in the next few months, honestly. Now these animals, like I said, though, they are fast. They run up to 50 miles per hour. You can find them out in Nepal, India, Pakistan. That is where they're usually native to. Same thing with the Nilgai. And this one kind of just stands. Oh, there they go.
They don't want you to wave it.
I guess not.
Now we're about to get ready to go into the baboon section. So we're going to see some of our olive baboons that we have here. And if you've been here a long time ago, you used to be able to drive your own car through, and the baboons were free roaming. Around that time, they used to hop on your car, rip off windshield wipers and all the vinyls off the top. They used to just completely destroy his car. So people didn't want any more monkey business, and neither did we. So we just built this enclosure that goes around the entire section. But as we drive through, you can kind of notice they only use like 50% of their enclosure. I don't know if they just don't feel the need to go to the other sections, or it's pretty boring. But they won't use anything, so anything from here all the way down to this little wooden structure, they don't come over here. I've never once seen them come over there, and then on the other section over there, they don't go past that roller coaster. So everything from that roller coaster down to this building, I've never once seen them go past. I don't know if there's a specific reason, but they just maybe just don't have the need to do so. Now these right here are olive baboons. So these are the most diverse, widespread set of baboons you're going to find in the entire world. They are found in 25 different countries in Africa, and they're going to be found close to the equator because these baboons do prefer the warm climate. They don't really like the cold, the rain, the snowy climates. These are also going to be the monkeys that we know for having the bright red butts. That is obviously the females. As they get older and mature, they send blood to their rear, kind of gorging it out, and that is going to let the males know that they're basically ready to start mating. Males, once they're mature enough, they don't really have any signs. They're usually always ready to go once it's go time, so they don't really, just the luck of finding a mate. But just like humans, though, the bigger the better. The males like to find the females who got the bigger red butt behind them, so that's what they'll go after. And now the females also are going to be a little bit smaller. They're only like 30, 37 pounds. And then the males are going to get up to around 50, 55 pounds, so close to like a 20-pound difference between them. And also, if you notice, when you look at them, their tail isn't going to be like most monkeys. Their tail kind of just dangles down at 90 degrees. That is because their tail's only purpose is for balance. So when they're climbing or running or doing things like that, they can't use their tails to grab and swing from tree to tree like most monkeys can. So relatively, their tail is kind of pointless. You can also see the roller coaster I was talking about. They really don't go past it. Sometimes you'll see them climbing up there. For the most part, they just hang out and they just call it a day. I think our yak, our yak also hanging out over there on the right side coming up. They've been here all day on top of this little hill. Now, yak are basically like cows, but of the colder region. So they're found out in Mongolia, Russia, China, places where it gets pretty cold. That's another reason why they have long, thick, luscious hair. They've just genetically adapted over time to being in these cold regions. That's how they stay warm. Now, these animals are going to be used for everything they have to offer. Same way we use cows, we're going to use these yaks. So their fur is going to be used to make hoodies, jackets, coats, anything to keep you warm. Their meat is going to be eaten. I don't know if it's similar to beef. I don't know what it tastes like, but it's probably very good. And then they also produce milk. Now, the only difference is their milk. Their milk is going to be a little bit thicker, the milk that we're used to. So it's mainly used for creams, butters. People are still going to drink it because it is also healthier. There's less fat concentration inside of it, so it is technically healthier, but it's mainly for creams and butters. Now, sadly though, for yak, their wild population is now declining. There are still millions of them. There's around 5 million of them out there, but due to them being forced into being domesticated or being bred into domestication, their wild population is now declining, and they are all being forced to work on ranches or be domesticated animals, which isn't the biggest deal, but once again, it is killing off their wild population. Now it appears that is going to be the end of these animals here, but back at base camp, if you have not already, I highly suggest checking out our reptile house. We have a bunch of snakes, we have lizards, they also have a legless lizard, so it's a lizard with no legs, it looks like a snake. They have some new frogs, they just got some frog enclosures in there, so you can see the tree frogs and the poison dart frogs. Then we also have the bone area, or the bone zone, where we have the antlers and horns and actual bones of animals we have here. We have the skull of an African elephant, so you can see how large their head gets along with the jaw. Then we also have the gift shop where you can get all the normal things you get at a gift shop. But most importantly is the Save an Icon badge. It's a $5 badge. But all that money goes towards these specific animals. This year is for the Aldabre tortoise and the red-eyed tree frog that are now endangered. Now, we started doing this Save an Icon thing back in 2019. As of 2025, we've raised over $200,000 for all these animals, so that makes sure that we can keep researching these animals, studying them, feeding them, and make sure they have a place to stay. As we know, almost every animal we see today is endangered or very close to being endangered, so if it was not for us and other companies like us, almost every animal you see today would be extinct or gone in the next few generations. So your kids or your grandkids might not get to see a lot of the animals that we see today. We have some goats down there. You can go see some of the goats. We also have a cavy you can go check out.